Backway to Crown King is easily one of my favorite trails, and I'll take you through some of the highlights in this video. Almost 27 miles of trail will take us up to 6,500 feet in elevation, and then slightly back down to the old mining town of Crown King. In its heyday, the mines at Crown King supplied $2 million in gold. The difficulty of this trail is largely up to the driver. Most of the clips that you'll see, I've taken the harder route, when in fact there are bypasses around all of these obstacles. The scenery here and the variety in the trail is one of the big advantages. The first half of the trail has rolling hills, expansive views, cactus, and some short, steep climbs that are not too difficult but fun to get through. This optional section with its narrow walls is a lot steeper than it looks. I've seen some videos where vehicles with less clearance and that didn't have lockers have gotten stuck on some of the larger rocks or just had trouble with the loose sand in here, but if you have a lot of clearance and good traction, then you should have no trouble crawling all the way up.
I don't think they're that good anymore. I hope not. It's not gonna make our trip very good if he does.
At the top, where this section joins back up with the bypass, there's a very large boulder to the left. And you'll have to do two things. One is to swing around this boulder so that your side doesn't get into it as you turn. And then as you're turning up around this boulder to get back on the trail, because of how steep it is, you need to be careful that you don't get too off camber. You can see I'm already pretty tippy right there. But just be careful as you turn back up onto the trail again.
He had lower side rails, and he took them off before this trip, so I'm glad he did.
I'm backing up here because there was one of those perfectly placed differential grabbing rocks where you can barely see it and you're driving forward and then you just stop moving because your differential is completely blocked and there's just no way forward. And finally I had to just drive around it so that I could continue up this really steep little obstacle here. You can see one of my helpers there holding another camera, and we'll switch over to his view in just a second and you can see what it looked like from the top of the hill. There are so many strange sights on these desert trails, including this car. My only speculation is that they stole it or just drove it out so far that they couldn't go any farther and abandoned it. This creek bed also appears in a lot of Crown King videos. The rocks here are anywhere from head-sized to the size of a person, but the middle is fairly flat and it's easy to make your way across it if you're not going that fast. Another impressive parking job that fills me with questions. This area was the only difficult section to me and was a little bit of a surprise. The trail is going along the side of a hill, it's fairly narrow, and then suddenly there are these two large rocks sticking up from the ground, and there's not a good way to get over them without either scraping your sliders, or if you go around to the right, it puts you at a little bit of an awkward angle. A little scrape on the skid plates, and I got over this fine, although the nice family that was coming along behind us, I think they were on 35s or 33s, a little less ground clearance, and I don't think they had lockers either, so you can see they tried to go around to the right side and ended up getting completely turtled on top of this rock. I was backing up here so I could get out a strap. I always carry a full box full of recovery gear in my Jeep on the trail. But as I backed up, another group came up behind them with some ATVs or side-by-sides, and they grabbed a strap and pulled them backward off the rock. And we did a little bit of rock stacking, and then finally this Jeep got over. The last part of the drive is a long, uphill, winding climb through the hills with a whole lot of beautiful, scenic vantage points. It goes back and forth along curves, and we did see a little bit of snow. Eventually you get up to 6,500 feet, and then you come back down a little bit, and that's what you're seeing here. There will be cabins scattered through the woods, and pretty soon you'll be driving over the bridge and into, let's call it downtown Crown King, with very muddy streets if it's been raining. There's a general store which has fudge, and then up ahead is the very famous Crown King Saloon, which is one of the only places in town to grab a bite to eat, get a drink, and then you can make your way out the, let's call it the fast exit from Crown King, which still is probably about a half-hour drive on a gravel road. That'll take you back to Interstate 17, and then you could go south back into Phoenix, or on this trip we headed north to Jerome and to Sedona for more trails. Well, thanks for joining us. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll see you out there on the trails.